Hello, welcome to this heart chakra yoga flow practice. And this is for more the intermediate practitioner of yoga, but certainly some beginners can do this as well, as long as you're familiar. So always do what you can. Don't worry about what you can't do. Take breaks as needed. So today, we're going to get into the heart chakra. At the time of this recording, there's a lot of things going on within the United States and the world that just really weighs on the heart. And so I thought that this would be a good practice to do. And I'm not going to mention things specifically because we all know what those things are, but you may want a block or two here. We will use a strap in the beginning and in a few places throughout. So you may want to have one of those ready. You can also use a regular belt. You don't have to have an official yoga strap to use a strap. And I am sitting on a folded blanket. So this is great to sit on for things. If you have tight hips, you can use it for knee cushion and for head and neck support during Shavasana, or to just cover up with in Shavasana if that's something that you would like to do. So that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. And we're going to start on our backs today. So we're going to come supine. Have your strap somewhere that's handy for you to grab. And I'm going to come off my blanket. And I'm going to move this blanket a little bit out of the way here. But that being said, something just popped in my head. We won't use this support behind the head and the neck once we do bridging. But if you would like to use this in the beginning for head and neck support, you will be safe to do so. So I do want to make sure that people know that that is an option. So as we come onto our back, just kind of take a moment, kind of fix your clothing if they bunched up a little bit. Let the feet come about as wide as the mat. Roll the shoulders down and back for a moment, zipping up that front body. And before we pause here, just let the knees gently go side to side. Just get a few little kinks out. And then when you're ready, you can place your hands anywhere that's comfortable for you. For me, for right now, that's going to be right over the belly. And then I'm just going to take a moment and I'm just going to notice what parts of my backside are and are not touching the floor. So is my low back touching the floor, or does it have space? Is my low rib cage touching the floor, or is there space? Are my shoulders able to kind of roll down and back and touch the floor? Or do they like to kind of roll up closer to the ears? Is the back of my neck touching the floor? Does it have space, or is it supported? It's kind of hard to know where you're going, where you're at, if you don't know where you're starting. And then from here, good. I'm just going to zip up from the pubic bone behind the navel. I'm also going to try to kind of cinch the two hip bones together here. So I'm engaging from all directions, but I don't want to be so engaged that I cannot breathe, move, or be from a place of ease. And once I've got that engaged, I'm just going to gently let the head and neck go side to side. As I gently take this head and neck from side to side, I want to be mindful of the opposite shoulder. Does it want to come up? Is it able to stay on the floor? Ideally, we want it to stay on the floor. But if that's not possible for you today, then just take the head and neck to the point where right before the shoulder starts to pop up. And as you loosen up, does it become easier for that shoulder to stay lower longer? Good. And then we'll come back to center. Good. One more time. We're zipping up, we're zipping in, gently side to side. And we'll take those hands right over the heart. As we take those hands over to the heart, we'll bring the knees back to center. As we inhale through the nose and expand that rib cage, can you feel that expansion across your mat? And maybe just an audible exhale for right now. And then we'll inhale through the nose and expand. Hold for a moment. Slowly release the nose. Breathing in and out through the nose helps calm the nervous system a bit. But there's always a space for an audible sigh. And as we're here for a moment, taking a moment for intention, I will ask you questions or make a few comments here or affirmations around the heart chakra. But you can always set your intention for this class, whatever it is that you need it to be. If you're like, well, I'm just drawing a blank, couple things. Gratitude is always a great place to start. And green is the color of the heart chakra. So you can always come back to that color as well. And once you're here, take a moment, relax around the forehead and the eyes, relax around the cheeks, and clench the jaw, relax around the throat. Shoulders can come down a little bit if they got a little creepy. If you're gripping through the hips, maybe release through there. And then once we're ready, good, we'll release the hands. We're going to come onto our side. So I'm going to start by rolling over onto my left side because that's the side that's going to allow me to face you right now. And I'm going to let my knees just be bent and stack here. And then, so again, for this purpose, if you need some head or neck support here, feel free to bring that in. But I'm going to take my left arm from the shoulder directly straight out. And so now I'm going to take my right hand right on top of the left. And I want my fingertips to be even to each other. Good. Now, to support the back side, I'm going to zip up and in the front side. I'm going to take my gaze to that right hand, and I'm going to let it kind of drag up until I can't see it anymore. And then I'm going to keep going, keep trying to trace it, and come all the way open. Now, I've got some props and stuff here in the way. Hopefully you do not. I'm going to come out just a little bit more. Here. There we go. Good. And then I'm going to trace that back around. So we're just doing a very gentle, subtle opener. So the shoulders, the chest are associated with the heart chakra. We're just kind of opening that up a little bit. Good. And then we'll do that again. And then maybe we linger here for a moment. Keep that belly in. No funny business in the back. Stretching's okay. Pain, numbness, tingling, burning, never okay. And then we'll slide that back around. The first questions I'm going to ask you is, what can I open my heart to today? What can I open my heart to today? Good. So gaze is now still going to come to that right hand, and we're going to open. So there's a little bit of a different twist. And close. And open. And close. And one more. We'll open. And close. Good. From here, when ready, come onto your back. Notice for a moment how maybe the left side feels compared to the right. Do you feel a little bit more open in places? My right shoulder feels obviously a little bit more open than the left because I just stretched that side. And then when you're ready, we're going to take it to the other side. So for the purposes of me not turning my back to you, I'm just going to switch around. Good. So we're going to come into the same type of space. So it's okay and safe to have head and neck support here if you need it. Knees are bent, legs are stacked. Right arm is straight out from the right shoulder. Left hand is on top. Move a little bit closer here. Good. Gaze on that left hand. Fingertips are even to each other. And I'm going to let that drag and open, getting that nice chest and armpit stretch. I had a hard workout yesterday, so I really need this myself. And we'll come back and we'll open, drag, looking in the direction that we're going. And we're going to come up and come around one more time, taking it back and open and hold it there. Breathing. Good. Remember, we're supporting the back body with a nice strong front body. And then we'll reach and take it back around. Good. So now we're going to open and close. So zipping up again, following that left hand, we're just going to open and close. Different kind of twist, a little bit less intensive for me. That doesn't mean it's less intense for you. And close. And one more time. We'll open and close. Good. Come onto your back. Grab that strap. Just for a moment. After having done that, take a moment and find a nice full body stretch, reaching from the fingertips to the toes. Okay. And then we'll release and we'll put a bend in the knees. So we're going to go into bridging now. So if you've got your blanket, neck, care, head support, you'll want to pull that out from under. We don't want anything under there. I'm going to take this strap, and I want my strap to be folded in half. And I'm going to thread that strap between my pointer and my thumb. I want my feet to come in enough here to give me a little bit of a lift, but not so much in that it hurts the knees or that I can't do it. Hip bones, knees, and feet are going to be in that hip alignment in parallel, straight forward. I'm going to roll my shoulders down and back a little bit because we're going to press into the shoulders as we press into the feet. Good. So I'm just going to reach that strap towards my legs. Good. So on this first one, press into the feet, press into the shoulders, just lift the hips up. Good. Really think about lifting up through the chest if you can. The entire foot stays on the floor so we don't roll it out to the side or anything like that. And then we'll lower those hips back down. Now, from here, I'm reaching with that strap. As I lift my hips up to the ceiling, I'm going to reach back if I can. If you can't go all the way back to the floor, stop where you need to stop. And then from here on the exhale, as I lower and lower. Now, you can roll up one of two ways. You can lift straight up. And if you've got osteoporosis or something like that, or flexion of the spine, it's not a good idea for you. I'm going to recommend you do that one. If you're okay in the spine for flexion, you're going to rock the pelvis back and peel up bone by bone. And then you'll do the same thing when you lower. Okay? So when you're ready, good, I'm going to reach. I'm going to peel back and lift up, mindful of your body's needs. And then I'm going to lower bone by bone as I lower those arms down as well. Now, reach back, lift up in the way you need to. Good. Only if you're rolling down bone by bone, this will apply. So I'm going to go ahead and lift. I'm going to lower down my spine. I'm going to pause about halfway. I'm making sure I'm tucking and scooping and then rolling down the rest of the way. I like doing that because it gives me a little bit more flexibility into the spine with a little bit more connection. We'll do that again. So we'll come back up and reach in the way that you need to. And then I'm going to reach. I'm going to lower down from the mid-back. I'm going to pause a little bit at the thoracic. I'm going to tuck and scoop a little bit more and then roll down the rest of the way. I'll put this strap to the side, bring my knees into the chest, and rock side to side. You have options to transition to all fours. You can roll over to your side and come up to a seat and then all fours. If you've got osteoporosis, that's what you're going to do. If you're safe in the spine, we're going to take a couple rolling like a balls. So I'm going to grab the top part of my legs. We don't want to swing. You want to use your breath and your core. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you're rolling up, can you hold that in a little bit of a balance? Zip up that front body nice and tight. Relax the shoulders and take those feet down. We'll cross and we'll come forward, excuse me, into all fours. So my knees need cushion, so I'm going to bring my blanket in for that. As we come to all fours, spread the fingers wide, root through the knuckles of the pinky, the pointer, and the thumb. Knees are going to be under or slightly wider than the hips. Tops of the feet are down. Shoulders are over or slightly behind the wrist. Okay, so we don't want to be like this. We also don't want to be really far away and have your arms out here like this. Okay, so be mindful of where you're at. Good. Belly button is in nice and tight. Inhale. Chest comes forward, gaze comes forward, pelvis tilts back, nice cow pose. Exhaling around, looking towards the thighs. Mad cat pose. Inhale, cow. Now I'm pressing away from the floor the whole time. And exhale, cat. Good. From here, before we go into a different version of cat-cow, we're going to go into some side bends. So I'm trying to squeeze the low rib cage and the top of the hip toward each other as I look over the shoulder. So as I look this way, good, I'm squeezing and looking. And then same thing in the other direction. What this is not is a tail wag here going like that, okay? So from this angle, good, you're looking over one side and the other. Hips stay over the knees, okay? So from here, when we're ready, we're protracted, we're zipped up. I'm going to side bend and look towards my right and back to center. Side bend, look left and center. Side bend to the right and center. Side bend to the left and center. We'll press back, little child's pose here. How you do it matters not as long as it's okay. This is just a little break. We'll do a deeper one in a moment. And then we'll come back up to all fours. So we're going to go back to cat-cows again. And you can choose the basic, the one that we just did, or you can choose one of my other options. I'll review them. So there's also semicircle cat-cow. We inhale on the cow. Exhale. As you round through cat, you'll sink down on one hip, moving through center. And then you'll roll into that cow from the other side. And then you're going to reverse directions. You've also got dynamic cat-cow flow. Inhaling on the cow. Exhale, we'll round. Sink back into a child's pose. Inhale, forearms and elbows come to the floor. Shift forward. Elbows stay in. It's a baby push-up as you come into that cow pose. So take a moment here. You can do the basic. You can do a combo of two. A medley of all three. Move in the way that feels good to your body. Challenge is okay as long as there's no pain associated with it. And you also want to breathe well. So as we move, can we do it from a place of ease, not from a place of force? Good. And then from here, we'll take a nice child's pose. The knees can be as wide as the mat together or somewhere in between. You can make the big toes touch or not. You can reach your arms long in front of you, or you can take your hands back by the ankles, letting the shoulders release. Forehead can come to the floor, a block or folded blanket, maybe even a pillow. If your arms are long in front of you and you want just a little bit more here, walk those fingertips a little bit more to find more of a stretch. You can also take it towards the corners of your mat here for a little bit of a different angle. Kind of find yours. Zip up that front body. Breathe and expand. Coming back to intention. What can I open my heart to today? Maybe the color green. Or whatever it is you need. And then from here, hands are going to come underneath the shoulders. And we're going to come back up. Good. Okay. We're going to do an opposite arm leg. We're going to take it into a bind. So from here, left leg's going to come back and pressing evenly into that big toe and pinky toe mound, letting that left hip drop slightly. And I'm just going to press back here because it feels good to just get that stretch. Using that left leg and foot to bring me forward, that leg is going to lift. It can come up to hip height, but you don't want to dip through the center. So you want to still be nice and lifted and stable in the center. If you're stable here, right arm can come forward, pressing out of the supporting shoulder. And this might be where you choose to work. Otherwise, I'm going to bend that back knee. From my right shoulder, I'm going to turn my palm out away from the body. I'm going to reach around, reaching here and reaching the foot towards the head might be where you also stay. You can also grab pants, foot, or ankle. Good. So from here, I'm rolling the right shoulder back. My belly button is in. There is no pressure or funny business in my low back. I'm going to squeeze the left glute and take the left foot up to the ceiling. So there's still an old cue out there, sadly, about pressing the hand and foot into each other. But when you do that, you're putting pressure into the low back that doesn't really need to be there. So if you focus on squeezing the glute and just lifting the foot, you kind of take it out of the back and you still have your grip. Good. So speaking of grips, we'll release here with control. And then we'll take that down. Child's pose. And we'll come back up. Good. Right leg's going to reach back, pressing into the big toe and pinky toe mound, pressing back through that heel. Let that right hip drop slightly. Belly button is in. Good. Now I'm going to press through that foot and leg to bring me forward. The leg's going to lift to where it's appropriate for me. Left arm's going to come forward. I'm making sure I'm stable here. Good. I'm going to bend that back knee. From my left shoulder, I'm going to turn that palm away. I'm going to reach around, staying here or binding. Good. Good. So my knee is into the bend line. I'm rolling my left shoulder back. I'm squeezing my right glute and lifting the right foot up. Good. Then breathe. And when ready, good. We'll release with control and take it down and child's pose. Good. From here, we're going to take this into a downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. So from here, taller people, you're going to take a half a hand's width or full hand's width forward. Shorter people can stay where we're at. We're going to still spread the fingers nice and wide, rooting through the knuckles of pinky, pointer, and thumb. We'll tuck the toes and shift the hips back. I'm going to press down and forward into my mat with my hands as I lift my knees and hips. Good. Now find a good down dog position for you. So I'm looking at my feet and legs. They're about hip width apart. And I'm pressing evenly into both big toe and pinky toe mounds. Knees can be long. Knees can be bent. My shoulders are away from the ears. My head and neck are free. Belly button is in. From the shoulders, I'm going to turn my inner elbows just a little bit more towards the ceiling, just creating a little bit more stability in the shoulder girdle. And then from here, when ready, I'm going to inhale, look forward, bend the knees, pressing through the feet and the legs. I'm going to walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hand. If you cannot comfortably touch your floor, you can bring your blocks in here. Remember that they are customizable with 3 heights. Pressing into the feet and the legs. Lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale and we'll bow. Good. One more time. Press the feet and the legs. Lift and lengthen halfway. Nice long back. Some people can get a good stretch going like this. Just make sure that you're not locked. I actually get a deeper stretch in my hamstrings when my knees are a little bit bent. So kind of be where you need to be there. Exhale and we'll fold. Pressing into the feet and the legs. Legs always take the load as we come up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Finding the breath, mountain, intention. All right. We're going to go into a couple sun salute A's here. And as we go through these, taking out any component that you might need, ask yourself, who in your life needs to be told, I love you or I care about you? And once you figure out who those people are, and there's a reason as to why I'm asking that, what plan are you going to do to tell them that? Are you going to call them, text them, email them, go see them? How is that going to happen? Big inhale and reach. Exhale and we'll fold. Pressing into the feet and the legs to lift and lengthen half. Exhale, roll back. Planting the hands. You can step or hop back to your plank. Good. From my plank, good. I'm going to do a modified one, but you can certainly keep the knees lifted. Good. I'm going to look forward. Good. I'm going to take it down halfway. I'm going to find my back bend, and then I'm going to find my downward facing dog. So I recently had a friend pass away from metastatic breast cancer. We were told she had 6 months to live. She actually made it 3 weeks. And while that was really sad, I am glad that the last words I said to her were, I love you. So, in terms of that, who in your life needs to hear that? And how are you going to tell them? When are you going to tell them? Inhale, look forward, bend the knees, pressing through the feet and the legs. Walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, bow. It's important to tell them because you never know when it might be the last thing you say to somebody. Pressing through the feet and the legs will rise all the way up. I thought I had 6 months to see this person, but I was putting off going to see her because I had something else going on in my family, and she died before I was able to, which is really sad. But I was able to tell her I loved her before she passed. So there's something to ponder there. Big inhale and we reach. Exhale and we fold. Pressing into the feet and the legs. Lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale and we'll bow. Planting the hands. Step or hop back to plank. Take or skip a flow. Good. So now I'm going to lower halfway. I'm pushing my feet forward. I'm taking a full up dog here. Exhale. Find your down dog. Finding breath. Inhale, look forward. Bend the knee. Pressing through the feet and the legs. To walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hand. Pressing into the feet and the legs to lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale and we fold. Pressing through feet and the legs, we'll rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Finding breath, mountain, intention. Good. We're going to use our strap to kind of get into the side body again. So kind of take a squat, pick it up. And I'm going to unfold this, and I'm still going to thread it between the pointer and the thumb. And I've got a buckle on the end of mine that I don't want kind of swinging around, hitting me and then my face. So I'm going to hold that in so you will have a longer end. So just kind of be mindful. So from here, I'm going to take my feet about hip width apart. Good. I'm going to take it up and reach. Good. Now, I want my hands and shoulders to be in alignment here, and I want them to be in alignment with my hips. My knees are soft, and I'm going to use that alignment as I get my side bent. So I'm keeping my hips over my ankles. I'm not going out like that. Good. Avoid this forward collapse here. Sometimes we don't know we're doing that until we pay attention to what we're doing. Breathing, and then we're going to come up and go right into the other side. Just opening up. Good. And then from here, we'll take that down. Good. So the next one I'm going to show you from the side view. Rolling shoulders down and back, zipping up. Look at your posture. Eventually, you want your ears, shoulders, hips, ankles to be in that alignment as much as possible. Sometimes when we age, the head comes forward. That makes the head a lot heavier than it is because now all of these muscles have to support the weight of the head not being in alignment. So just something else to ponder and consider. I'm going to take it up, and then I'm going to take it back, and I'm going to take it forward. So you want your arms to be long here. So if you kind of find yourself bending your arms, you want a wider grip on your strap, and you can go your full range of motion. And you want your core to help you from not kind of flopping around here from making this work. So we're still zipped up. Good. Now, the next time you come back, you're going to stop at your maximum stretch, which may or may not be your maximum range of motion. So you just saw me take the strap all the way to my bum. So my max stretch is about right here. Breathing. And then we'll take that up and take that down. We'll put the strap to the side. From here, from the top of the mat, big inhale and we'll reach. Exhale, we will fold. Pressing into the feet and the legs to lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, we'll bow. From here, plant the hands. Step or hop back to plank. Take or skip the flow. Once you've made it back to your nice good down dog, left leg's gonna lift 3-point. We're gonna bend that knee. Good. I'm gonna look at that right foot and right leg, and I'm gonna press into that right foot and right leg as I open to the left. Trying to keep a nice, strong, even shoulders. Now, from here, I'm gonna lift that hip and knee, come back even to the floor. I'm gonna use the right leg and right foot to bring me forward. I'm gonna look forward, and then I'm gonna step or pick up and put the left foot forward between the hands. For some of you, you might need to take this back leg out a little bit wider for stability, but I'm gonna really press to that back leg, and I'm gonna get into that front heel, and I'm gonna get into my core, and I'm gonna rise up into a nice crescent. Good. So I'm gonna press evenly into my big toe and pinky toe mount. That helps avoid the ankle from bowing out or bowing in. Back heel is not grounded here. Good. But I'm zipped up. Front knee, if you're bending it, bends over behind the ankle and towards the pinky toe side. Good. Now zipping up the front body. Maybe we open that chest up into a little bit more. And we ask ourselves, what are we grateful for? What are we grateful for? So while I wasn't able to see my friend before she passed, I'm grateful for my last words to her and knowing her for 22 years. I'm also grateful for these practices. Good. And we'll come back up. And then from here, we're going to reach. And we're going to take that down with purpose and control. Plant the hands. Front foot steps back. Take or skip a flow. I'm going to skip this flow. Okay. Remember, flowing is always an option. It's never a requirement. So never feel like you have to do those. Never let anyone make you feel like you have to do those. And we'll repeat all that to the other side. Right leg's going to lift 3-point. I'm looking to that left foot. I'm going to press into that left foot and left leg as I bend the right knee and open to the right. Strong, even shoulders. Gaze is still at that left foot. Relaxing through the face and clenching the jaw. And then the hip and knee are going to come back even to the floor. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to push myself forward with that left foot and leg. I'm going to step or pick up and put that right foot forward between the hands. So again, if you need to take that back leg out a little bit wider, do so. You can always use your blocks for stability as you come up if needed. From here, I'm going to really press to that back heel. I'm going to get into that front heel and come up. That front hip comes back, dipping up. Really press through that back leg. Make those muscles work. Press evenly into the big toe and pinky toe mound of that back foot. And again, maybe coming back to an intention, one of those questions I've asked, or maybe we just kind of come back up and open our heart to something new. Maybe new perspectives. Open our hearts to listening. Inhale, and we'll reach. Exhale, with purpose, with control. We'll take that down. Plant the hand. Front foot steps back. Take or skip that flow. You're always coming back to breath. Once you've made it back to your down dog, take a moment, shake the head yes. Shake the head no. Good. From here, left leg's going to lift 3-point. I'm going to bend that knee. I'm going to use that left leg and left or right leg, right foot to step that left foot forward. And I'm going to really reach that left leg back and that knee comes down. Now you can always cushion that knee if you need to. Now I want length here. So for example, I'm kind of hunched over to try to get to the floor. I don't want that. I'm going to use my blocks to find my length, zipping up that front body for support. Good. There is no air under that heel. Knee is over or behind that ankle. Breathe. Relaxing through the face. Good. From here, when ready, we're going to go into a little bit of a hip opener. So I'm going to bring my blocks up a little higher. Good. From here, I'm going to lengthen. Good. You can take both hands to the thighs, if that's appropriate, and you can turn and kind of look to the left. Now, I want to go deeper to the left. So I'm going to take my right hand to my block. As I turn to my left, I'm going to roll onto the edge of that left foot. Okay. For some of you, this is where you're going to end. Some of you are going to bend the back. Some of you are going to bite. Roll that left shoulder open. And when ready, good, we'll release. And we'll release. And from here, I'm going to take my blocks forward. And I'm going to heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, this foot over, and go into a pigeon. So as we go into a pigeon, we want the shin to be at a 45-ish degree angle versus the old cue of putting it parallel to the mat. I'm squaring off my hips, and I'm really going to reach my right leg back. Now, for some of you, you can be up. You can take forearms to blocks or to the floor. Some of you can come all the way down here. Ideally, you want that opposite hip, the floor hip, as I call it, in this case, the left hip, to be on the floor. If it's not, you've got a couple options. You can fold your blanket or a pillow and stick under there. Or if it's just too much on the hip, too much on the knee, too much on the back, roll onto your back, which will look like this, and you'll do a figure four. It'll be the left ankle crossed over the right knee. This is the exact same hip opener, but it's less intense on your joints. So always listen to your body and do the version that's appropriate for it. And we're going to be here for a moment, so just breathe. Maybe again, coming back in that color green. And I asked a moment ago, who in your life needs to hear the words, I love you? Maybe you need to hear that from yourself. Loving yourself is the key to loving others. It's the key to being compassionate and kind to others. And when we're ready, in the way that's best for your body, depending on what you did there, you're going to find yourself back into your downward facing dog. So take your time to get there the way you need to get there. If you want to move through a belly down vinyasa here, you can. I'm going to skip, but feel free to do so. Good. And once you've made it back to down dog, we're going to take that to the other side. So now my right leg is going to lift 3-point. I'm going to bend that knee. Left leg and foot is going to bring me forward. I'm going to step, pick up and put that foot forward between the hands. As I do so, I'm going to let that back leg reach back and come down. I'm going to bring my blocks in here so I can find my length, again, from that place of ease. Zipping up. Feels so much better when you bring the floor up to you using your blocks versus forcing your hands down to the floor and not being in good form and not being able to breathe well or from a place of ease. Good. Now, from here, I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher. Good. We're going to do that little hip opener now. So again, you can take hips here. You can look behind you. I'm going to take my left hand to my left block. Move that foot forward. Good. And I'm just going to kind of open to the side as I look behind me. You can stay here. You can bind. You can bend. Good. The trick to this is not being on the kneecap of the back leg. So if you're on the kneecap, that leg needs to go back farther. And when you're ready, we'll release We'll come back. Good. And from here, we'll take a belly down pigeon, or you can come onto your back and do a figure four. If you're going into figure four, it's going to be the right ankle over that left knee. And again, this hip might be completely different than your other hip. You might have to do something different with your body. Totally normal, totally okay. Make sure that the hips are squared forward and your front shin is at a 45-degree angle, not parallel. And breathe. While you're here, no matter where you're at, what version you're doing, relax around the forehead and the eyes. Release the cheeks and clench the jaw and breathe. And when you're ready, in the way that's best for you, based on where you went, we're going to come up, find your down dog. Again, find your flow. If you're going to take it, this will be the last flow that I cue of this class. And then once you've found your down dog, we're going to bring those knees down. And then we're going to come up. I'm going to bring my blocks back a little bit closer for a demo here. And then knowing where I'm going to go, because we're going to go into camel, I'm going to bring my blanket back in here so my knees have a little bit more cushion. Now, there are different camels for different bodies. Okay, so I will show you different ones. If you're going to go kind of back here, a couple things keep in mind. You will have to reach farther if the tops of the feet are down, but there's no problem with that if that's where you want to go. And you don't have to reach back as far if you come up on your toes. Again, no problem. Neither way is right or wrong. It's just a personal preference. I like my toes up, so this is where I'm going to go. Good. So no matter where you're going to go here, hips come forward. There's a little bit of a glute engagement. We don't want to do a back bend by taking the hips back here. Okay, that will force it into the lumbar, and that's not where we want to bend. We want to bend up a little bit more into the thoracic. So you can take your hands here or hands here, rolling shoulders down and back, pressing the elbows behind you, and just taking your chest forward and looking up. And for some of you, that's going to be the extent of your camel today, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Some of you are going to take a block, and maybe because your blocks are higher than your heel, maybe you come back and you practice, a half camel here. You can also do that same thing. I'll demo that on the other side without the block. Okay, and our hips are forward. Okay? If you're going to do the half one, remember to kind of spend an equal amount of time on both sides. You can also do a camel by taking both hands back here, okay? Or you can take both hands back towards the ankles, like this. Good. Okay, so choose the camel that's appropriate for you, and we'll go there. I'm going to do a full camel, but you choose what you need. So we're zipped up, and knees about hip width apart. It's going to feel a lot better too. Good. Hips forward. Good. I'm trusting where I'm going. My hips are forward. Good. And I'm taking it up. Good. If this was a class, I would be walking around right now making sure people's hips are over their knees or making people come out and start at work because it is a safety issue. And once you're ready, I'm going to nod my chin. I'm going to look forward. I'm using my core to help me come out of there. Once you're out of there, we're going to take a child's pose. I'm going to move my blocks a little bit out of the way here. Knees can be together as wide as the mat or somewhere in between. Reaching arms long in front, maybe. Taking that breath. From here, I'm going to take my hands under my shoulders. I'm going to come up a little bit. From here, I'm going to walk my hands over towards the right. As I come towards the right, I'm going to walk the left fingertips forward, lifting my hips a little bit, pressing into the right hand, sink the hips towards the left, breathe and expand. So now you're getting another left body side stretch. And maybe say to yourself, I am deserving of love. I am deserving of love. And always come back to that color green. And we'll come back up. We'll come back to center. Half or full child's pose here to reset. When you're ready, come up a little bit. I'm going to walk my hands over towards the left. I'm going to walk my left hands forward. I'm going to lift. I'm going to press into the left hand and sink towards the right. Breathe. I think I may have said walk the left hand forward. You're going to walk the right hand forward here and press to the left so you can get into the right side. And then from here, we'll come back up and come back to center. Good. Half or full child's pose. We're going to take this into a gate pose. From the gate pose, some of you will come into a version of side plank. Some of you will come into a full side plank. I'm just kind of give you an idea. We'll do gate pose first, and then we'll go into our options from there. So I'm going to start with the block on my left side, and I'm going to take my right leg out. So your foot here, where it points or whatever, doesn't really matter. Just make sure your hip and knee are also following the foot. Toes, knees, hips, all want to go in the same direction. I like this way a little bit better. But from here, big inhale. Good. I'm going to take it down. Block can be any height you need it. Maybe you want to even come to the floor. That's fine. I'm just going to open and come up and side bend over. Nice stretches. When ready, good. You can take the hand to the block or the floor, and maybe we lift this time. So this might be your side plank, okay? Other people going into a side plank, maybe you're coming down, shoulder away from the ear, shoulders over behind the ankle, not the ankle, over behind the wrist. Good. Chest, hips are facing in the same direction, otherwise the plank won't work. And I'm going to take the bottom leg behind. You can also then from there stack. So breathe. And when ready, good. I'm going to take the top leg forward and I'm going to come back down. Good. Shake out that supporting arm, supporting wrist. And when you're ready, we're going to take that all to the other side. So I'm just going to bring that block now over to the right side. Good. Left leg's going to come out. Good. Make sure hip, knee, and toe are tracking in the same direction. We're going to zip up, arms out, taking it over, just getting a nice little reach. We're going to be grounded for right now. And then coming back up and counter stretch. Maybe saying to yourself, I can give love. I can give love. Good. From here, you can come back down. Good. You can take a lift. This might be where you stay. You can also do the same one with the hand on the floor. I'm going to take my hand on the floor. Good. I'm opening my chest and hips to the side. Good. Bottom leg's going to come behind the top. You can stay here. You can stack. Good. Breathing. Breathing. Smiling. And when ready, top leg's going to come to the front and we'll take that down. Good. From here, go ahead and get a child's pose. Relaxing through the face, clenching that jaw, always returning the breath, always returning to intention. And when you're ready, get hands under the shoulders, and we're going to come back onto our back. So I'm going to have this blanket handy. I'm not going to use it just yet. And we're going to go into a fish pose or a supported fish pose. And I will go through these. I'll go through the full fish first, then the supported, and then we'll do it for real. So for full fish, we'll come down. And I like to roll my shoulders under a little bit and sit on the hands to start. Good. And then from here, knees can be bent or legs can be long. That's going to be a personal preference and how you feel in your back. But from here, I'm going to press into the hands, forearms, and elbows to lift me up, chest come towards the ceiling, and I take my head back. Good. Now, option 2 from there. You can come up, zip up. If your core is nice and strong, you can take your legs up. And then again, if you're able, you can take your hands up. Okay? So those are the versions of unsupported. Supported, you can take a blanket. You can fold it in half. For some people, this just feels better because it's not a hard surface. So it doesn't matter if you're using a folded blanket or a block, and it'll go right along the low rib cage, right along the bra line. You're going to hold that there in place with one hand. I'm just going to demo on the block so you can see. And good. Knees can be bent to help you get back there. Your other hand's going to guide you. Okay. If this block is in the low back, it won't work. If it's up by the neck, it won't work. So placement is everything here. Center part of the back, center part of the back. Once you're there, you're getting that nice back bend. Chest is opening up. Shoulders can open up. Arms can come to the side. Some people are fine taking the head all the way to the floor. Some people can reach the floor. If you cannot reach the floor, or you know that that's too much, you're going to take your other block, place under the head, and have that support. You're still getting that nice chest opener, that nice back bend. Knees can be bent or long. Okay, so that's your support. Good. And then you'll nod the chin and come up. Now, I want to do supported today. So I'm going to leave everything right where it was and come back into it. So you choose the version that you're doing. Is it going to be the full? Is it going to be supported? Yeah, I don't need a block under my head, so I'm just going to take it back. And then just be there for a moment. If it's too intense, you don't want to stay here. This can be very vulnerable to some people, both in the heart and the throat chakra. We're exposed here if you want to look at it from that perspective. Stay in with breath. And when you're ready to come out, then I'm going to nod my chin. I'm going to use my hands to come forward and come up off my prop. Good. Now, I'm going to take my folded blanket. I'm going to use it as a little bit of a support here. And I'm going to come down. Good. Once I get down there, I'm going to bring the knees into the chest and rock, side to side. Make sure you've got space to each side. And then before we come into Shavasana, we're going to take this into a nice supine twist, just the basics. So we're going to take our arms out to the T, knees in the tabletop position, knees over the hips, shins parallel to the floor, zipping up. I'm going to let those knees go all the way over towards my right as I look to my left. And different bodies need different sensations. So if you move your knees up closer to your face, you're going to feel that twist higher in the spine. If you move them closer towards kind of direction of your feet, you're going to feel it lower in the spine. So always feel free to slide up and down to find your twist where you need it. And then when ready, head will come back to center. One leg at a time, or use your abdominals to bring you back to center. Pause, reset as needed. And when ready, we'll take those knees over to the left. We'll look to the right. Breathing, expanding, maybe moving the knees up and down, finding where you need to be. And when you're ready, one leg at a time, or using your abdominals to come back in. We'll come back in. But from here, lift the upper body if you can, pull your knees in, give yourself a nice big hug. And right before we go into Shavasana, maybe you reach long from the fingertips to the toes, finding a full body stretch. And when ready, we'll go into Shavasana. So from here, the beauty of being at home is you can bring in any props at all that you need, as well as being able to pause this video and stay in there as long as you need. But you can let everything come long and flip open. If your back doesn't like that, you can put a bend in the knees, coming into constructive rest. Can also be on your side, can also be on your belly, wherever it is where you can kind of relax and not fidget around. So adjust those clothing as we need to. And the final thought I'll give you here for a few moments is serving others with gratitude brings joy to the heart. Serving others with gratitude brings joy to the heart. Knowing you can stay here as long as you would like. And when you're ready, take some deeper breaths. Choosing stillness or gently the head and neck to side to side. Choosing stillness or inviting movement of the fingers and the toes. Maybe running the thumbs along the edge of the fingertips. Choosing stillness. Maybe bringing knees into the chest. Keeping the upper body grounded, or maybe lifting up into a full body hug. Choosing stillness. Removing any props out of the way that you may have used today during your Shavasana time. Taking one leg at a time in front of you, arms long behind you, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips, edge of the toes, full stretch. Maybe pointing and flexing through the feet, bending and stretching through the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then in the other. And whenever you're ready, bending in both knees, and you choose rolling over to your right or left side, the side that works best for you in this moment. And when you're ready, we'll press ourselves up to a comfortable seat. Taking a moment to notice how you feel, hopefully a little bit more open, a little bit less constricted, and a more open heart. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up, reaching up. As we bring the hands together and begin to bring them down, we'll stop the thumbs at the forehead for good and true thoughts, to the lips for good and kind words, and to the heart for open and loving hearts. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, no gain is ever reversed. May you be safe, may you stay well, may you know love, may you give love. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.